Hello, welcome everybody. Back are the ballers. We are here, three of us, the Sons of Africa. Oh yeah, we called ourselves that the other day, didn't we? How are we all doing? Will, Peter, only half an hour away from the game starting.
Yeah,
Yep, I'm good.
absolutely.
I'm
Yeah, no,
good.
I'm excited. I think we all are. You know what I mean? It's now we're heading into the final stretch now. Wild card is done, so now it's proper playoffs, as I call it, proper playoffs. So yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting, man. Man, I'm just happy for my Eagles, man.
There's some really good games happening this weekend.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Peter, which game are you looking forward to the most? Without going into it, because we're going to talk a little bit of news first, but which game are you looking forward to the most?
I'm really looking forward to Kansas City versus the ones playing tonight. The Chiefs and the Jags, and really fascinating to see whether last week wasn't just a fluke. So I'm really looking forward to see if they can do it again. I don't expect them to win, but if they can make it a game, then yeah.
Then things are moving in the right direction for them for certain. Before we talk about the games, quickly want to talk about the number of firings that there have been happening in the league of coaches. It seems like scapegoat season is of the highest order. There seems to be everyone needs a scapegoat for why a season went awry. Byron Leftwich was fired by the Bucks.
Yeah, which I think was a massive mistake. I think that was a massive mistake. Personally, I kind of think as though they've only just recently won a Super Bowl. That offense has always been electric. Even when they had famous Jameis down there, they were scoring points. So it's kind of like you have a bad season, and the majority of the pieces that were there last year came back, but a lot of them got injured. Let's be honest, the team was riddled with injuries across the offensive line. And on defense as well. So they never really were 100%, but it's just not a good look. Byron Leftwich as an OC was in the runnings for a head coaching job. I think he turned down other jobs to stay with the Bucks. And that's what ultimately come back around to kind of hurt him, because it's kind of like, just like in the normal world of work, like if you get fired from your job, it doesn't matter if you were doing a good job at the time. It's just the fickleness of the industry. Any other employer is kind of going to look at it like, yeah, but why'd you get fired? It's not a good look. So that's going to work against him. It's very hard for him to get a new job. They've got to almost look beyond the firing. And as we know, Pete, certain coaches don't get that privilege. We've got Josh McDaniels over who walked out of a job, was about to get it the same day, was walking in suit and tie, and he changed his mind.
Well, we find out that Asa did a massive shit in his house and his wife didn't want it. So that's why so his wife was like, no, you can't work for a boss.
Look, if a man's got to go, a man's got to go. Like, but I think that was a blessing for the Colts, to be honest, because I do not rate Josh McDaniels. To be honest, I don't rate anything that comes from the Bill Belichick tree, because there seems to be an arrogance that comes out of him. So when I've had chats with Finn a lot about the Matt Patricia era, and he went in with this arrogance, like, look at my, instead of look at what I did over there, rather than what's happening here on the.
Do it.
Yeah,
it's my way or the highway. It just doesn't work, because not every team has that culture. Yeah, it rubs people the wrong way, especially when you're losing games. With Flores, though, it was kind of different. He's the only one who I've seen
who has his own identity.
Things around.
He has his own identity,
because he put his own spin on it.
Yeah, he put his own spin on it. So I think it's just one of those things. Plus, I'm telling you, with Todd Bowles especially, he needs to be careful, because I think some guys are really good coordinators, and I think I'm not saying Todd Bowles should step down or whatever. I think he's good as a head coach, but when he relinquished control of that defense, it fell off. It lost a step, and he can't do both. He can't be the head coach of a team and run and also call plays on defense. It's very hard to do, which is why it's just one of those things where perhaps he needs to take a more Belichickian approach and take control of both things, because I think that defense can still play well. It's just he wasn't the guy under control there, and unfortunately he can't be fired, because that's just a bad look for the NFL as a whole. So it had to be Leftwich. So
yeah, but the thing is, you should be fired for injuries happening.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't. And I think
quarterbacks.
I think piggybacking off what you said,
I think more predominantly injuries and drops.
Yes, in terms of the back situation in particular. But when you look at the league as a whole, like before we started the podcast, what I was alluding to was the fact that it seems that coaching changes are an all-time high. And normally it's head coach and GMs that changes. But now we are starting to see that teams are willing to even switch out coordinators and position coaches and do a clear out when the results are not there. And I think I don't know whether it's a case of owners being a bit impatient.
Do you know what? But it could be. Could this be not owners but GMs? Trying
to secure their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the league is kind of.
Do you know what? I see that they're bringing over what happens in business a lot. When you see the top dog, like everyone, like say for example, everyone knows that the top dog needs to be fired. Who tends to be going first? It's the guys beneath them first.
Yep.
And only when those guys have been expended.
And then, the root cause of the problem is the guy at the top. I wonder why, kind of thing. Yeah. It's happening. We're seeing this more and more in the league now.
It's just a shame.
Exactly, and it's just weird how a lot of position coaches are going, because right now it's kind of like my team and both our teams, like Dilly and myself, the coach and the Cardinals, we're looking for new head coaches. Now the question is,
if you look at the people that they've been interviewing, not the big list, because it's about 10 to 12 people.
It is, and I think both organizations are trying to make sure they pick the right guy. I think
I don't think there's going to be one interview though. The way it seems like there's going to be an initial stage,
multiple
of
stages.
All these guys, because there's too many people just to decide on one, and then you're going to have a second one with maybe 3 or 4.
There is, but the point I'm making here is that both teams, or a lot of teams, are going into this head coaching search in a mode of we want to find the right guy. So if Correct. It means we have to interview almost everybody, then have a second round of interviews with our top 3, we're going to do it, because we don't want to be changing a coach within the next 3-4 years. They want a coach to come in and at least get a 5-year stint or something.
Especially
like that.
With the talent that you have on Arizona Cardinals at quarterback, and and some of your defensive players, although you've lost one big one. And then with the Colts, with the culture of the last 25 years, of them being at the forefront.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
and you don't want to fall into the malaise of being like the Jets, where you were good a very long time ago, and then you're just very bad, and then you're just very bad, and you're just in this endless cycle. You need to break it quickly.
That's true.
I think the main foundation here is certain teams have kind of spoilt the league, in that we've seen success with Mahomes. We've seen a Justin Herbert come in and perform really well. We're seeing Trevor outperforming everyone's expectations in year 2. And a lot of owners, I think, at the top level are kind of looking at it like, we need to get something like that. But what they don't understand is it starts with your talent evaluation. How's your scouting department? If you can't scout well, you're not going to be bringing in really good young players that's going to help your organization flourish. So it works both ways. Not only are the organizations looking for the right fit in terms of coaches, but coaches themselves are now looking at teams and being like, Houston, is that a good place to go? It just seems really toxic. Their scouting's not the best. So what am I really going to do? Am I heading there to be set up to fail? We're seeing with some coaches are on the West Coast, some coaches are on the East Coast. If you get invited for a team on the opposite coast, that's a long flight. That's a long flight for an interview.
But all the interviews are over Zoom. They're not in person.
over Zoom.
That's a league rule. They're not allowed.
Yeah,
they're not
okay.
So they're not flying people across the country. It's you do it via Zoom because in business that's what they do nowadays.
Yeah,
you don't go. You don't go into a place for an interview.
I think the reason why they do most of it that way is because a lot of these coaches
and some of them are still
teams.
coaching. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, the best coaches are in playoff teams.
Yeah, but then you can't expect someone to be like, for example, D'Amico Ryans this week, right? His schedule has been crazy. He's had interviews literally every single day while preparing his defense to play this weekend, which means it's tough. It's something that you have to go through. Now, I just want to say quickly, well, when you was talking about the Bucs situation, right? What I would say is that I think one of the biggest things that Bucs fans are finding now is that Bruce Arians was a key factor into how the coaching setup was going on. Because in the beginning of the season, when they forced Bruce to retire and hand the reins over to Todd Bowles because Brady doesn't get along with Bruce Arians and all that kind of stuff, people forget that a lot of the coaching stuff were Bruce's coaching stuff, including Todd Bowles. They were Bruce Arians. And it's kind of like Bruce knows most of the guys more than Todd Bowles.
That's true.
So when Todd Bowles becomes head coach,
you're taking ties.
Yes, you know them. They're your colleagues. You work with them in harmony. But are they the guys that you would have picked if you were a head coach for a different team? Because when he went to the Jets, he had his own OC, DC people that he wanted to bring in. He brought in when he was with the Jets, just like he didn't have a good quarterback or a good OC to develop the quarterback at the time. But that's one of the issues that he's having. And also, Brian Leftwich, he could have been in a different situation. He could have been the one coaching Trevor Lawrence. Remember, the Jags last year wanted him, but he didn't want to go because they didn't give him the GM that he needed. He wanted Adrian Wilson from the Cardinals to be his GM. And the Jags said, no, we will not change the GM, but we'll hire you as a head coach. And he said, okay, thanks, but no thanks. I'm not going to come and work under Trent Baalke. So that was, you see, sometimes you got to take the opportunity when it comes because you never know the future. And you can't be so insistent of wanting to work with a particular person. You know,
but that might be the recipe for success. I think
sometimes
owners have to make a choice between the GM and the coach. You know, if you've got the cachet of Sean Payton, you can pick your GM. If you're like all otherworldly GM that's been successful, like if Howie Roseman became available, sure as hell ain't, he's going to pick his head coach.
Hindsight is 20/20. Because the thing is, I'm saying that the Jags, they wanted Leftwich to be the head coach. The GM there, Trent Baalke, was fine. They interviewed you and they wanted you to be the head coach. But then you wanted to have your choice of a GM. But think about it. Leftwich, you're brand new. You were getting a brand new head coaching opportunity. Coaches like Sean Payton, Belichick,
when you've got a resume
exactly
as a head coach, you can demand more.
Exactly.
That's how it is. All right. Divisional round games. We have some great matchups to start. And first one, Jacksonville going into a wet Arrowhead. Just looked on the cast and it looks like there has been a little bit of rain. People are in ponchos. Well, what do you see as the key to this game? Because aside from the obvious, so we know that is how that the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is going to have to deal with Mahomes. But within that offense of the Chiefs, who do you think is key? Because I don't think it's purely Travis Kelce. I think they need to keep a lid on one player. This one player, I'm going to ask you whether you can say who that player is.
I think you're going to say Kadarius.
No. Jet McKinnon.
Okay.
And the reason why I say this, because if you look at the shares that Kelce has been getting, the amount of ball touches that Kelce's been getting, it's been vastly reduced in the second half of the season. And that's with the a resurgence of Jet McKinnon because he's catching a lot out of the backfield. They're running a fair bit with him, and then they use Pacheco as a battering ram. His production has been very good at the end of the season because they're counting so much on Kelce. They're looking at all the wide receiver options, which the wide receiver core isn't that great. Kadarius Toney is very good, but he's managing to produce a lot. And the thing is, he's the forgotten man a lot of the time, it feels like.
I think with Kansas City, obviously they're very good at how can I say, changing things up. So heading into the playoffs, I think it's going to be interesting to see what they pull out, because they're not the same team. Andy Reid is very good at keeping the lid shut on any like new looks on offense, a few new, how can I say, trinkets over here and there. So it's not going to be what everyone expects. Like, they're one of the few teams that can afford to not show their whole repertoire, because they're never really struggling to get into the playoffs. You know, so he's held, I reckon he's held like a small portion of the playbook back for this run, and he's definitely going to show a new look. I think on the other side, Jacksonville have to slow this game down. They have to get off the field on third downs. They need to run the ball as early and often. And I still don't think that's going to be enough. They're going to need a few miracle plays on defense. We're going to have to keep up. Pivotal 3 and outs, and maybe a turnover or few. So they're going to have to try and get a turnover.
So adding to that, the really important thing from a defensive point of view is that they've got to get pressure on Mahomes rushing 4.
Yeah.
They rush 5. Peter, you know, they rush 5.
Oh, he'll kill you.
Yeah.
He'll bust it open.
He's going to bust it
now,
open.
I think right now, Patrick Mahomes is one of the quarterbacks in the league that you can't blitz. You know, he's developed to a point whereby when you blitz him, it's like
he knows
he's going to kill you quicker. He's efficient. The best way to beat Mahomes is to rush 4 and make sure your coverage is very good behind him, but and letting him match the ball up and down the field.
And don't hold people after the play breaks down, because it's going to break down sometimes. Don't hold the players.
So it's rushing 4, and at this point, I'm not sure Jacksonville has the
discipline,
the pass rush. I mean they have some pieces. Josh Allen. One of the players that we didn't hear much of this season was Josh Allen. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I heard that he had some sort of disagreements with the coaching staff, and there were rumors about they might trade him at some point. So I don't know.
So if you look at his stats for this year, he had 7 sacks. If you look at...
he's much more capable than that.
He had a sack last week and a tackle for loss, 4 hits on the quarterback. So he had himself a game last week.
If he gets hot late, then that could really benefit them, because, like I said, if you're getting hot in the playoffs, this could be what your team needs. One thing I'll say is, on those broken plays, that's when Kelsey and Pat do the most damage. It's when you think it's when you think you have him for a sack. That's when he does the most damage, because Kelsey and Mahomes are on a different wavelength. So let's say they're gonna disguise a safety blitz. As soon as Pat Mahomes sees this, he's just going to look at Kelsey. Kelsey sees it too. And they know, okay, so this was the route. I was going to run an out route. That's scrapped. I'm going to go to exactly where the safety is going to leave. And that's when you end up with those moments. So you almost have to disguise your defense. If we look back to when they played the Bucs a few years back, Todd Bowles played a really disciplined defensive game. He did not let those safeties come down into the front 5 yards of the defense. He kept them up high. Obviously, you don't necessarily have to do that now, because you haven't got a Tyreek Hill anymore that can go over the top, but Nicole Hardiman's not a slouch. But it's going to be really interesting. Like, the Jaguars have to be really disciplined, and that's going to come from Doug Peterson and his coaching staff. They've got to say, look, the opportunity is there, but you have to be disciplined with your rushes. Like, if we leave a hole, Pat Mahomes will see it, and he has the arm strength and the accuracy to hit it every single time. This isn't like a guy that has a cannon arm but isn't very accurate. He will hit his guys every single time if we leave it open. So it's hard, man. It's hard. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the corners, because they've got to play a really sound game. I don't think you run zone here. I don't think you run zone, because Pat Mahomes will eat up that zone coverage, because he knows exactly where the gaps are. He's going to study the film. It's really an uphill struggle. But if they can run the ball and get a few miracle plays on defense, it will give them an opportunity to stay in the game. I'm not saying it's not going to be a blowout. Doug Peterson won't allow it to be a blowout, but they need a few miracle plays on defense. I'm talking like a forced fumble, an interception, pivotal sack. Something needs to happen. Even special teams performance. That's their way of staying in the game. And if they stay in the game late, that's when things get interesting, in my opinion.
All right,
that's true. I mean, it'll be an interesting game. But for me, I'm gonna go the Chiefs because I don't think what's his name? I think the Chiefs are playing at home. They are also used to the weather conditions that's going to be happening tonight. I think the Jaguars are also used to that conditions because it has rained quite
a fair bit,
well
up in Jacksonville,
a fair bit in Jacksonville. So the weather conditions won't shock both sets of teams. I think Jaguars will have a lot of boost from their victory over the Chargers last week. They'll come in with full of confidence. But here's the thing: Sunshine and Peterson. If you give the Chiefs 20 points, listen, the Chiefs are the team that can give you 21 points and will beat you at the end of the game. So they need to be. They how they spotted the Chargers 21 points last week and came back to win. That's what the Chiefs do on a regular basis in the playoffs. I mean, they've done that about 2 or 3 playoff games in the past. So coming back to win a game is not new for the Chiefs. So I'll pick the Chiefs to win. It could be a close game, but I think my homeboy and the guys will bring it home, especially now that Pacheco is your leading back. He's gonna probably have himself a game.
Yeah, I'm gonna also pick the Chiefs to win. And to be honest, I'm gonna be real. I want the Chiefs to win because like I said, I want to see some high octane football. But just like you said, Pete, if Jaguars get ahead, they cannot play to lose the game. They can't. No. They've got to put their foot down. Yeah, to not lose. Yeah, they've got to keep the foot down. They've got to keep.
But that's how Dougie P does things. He doesn't go conservative. Okay, Chiefs. My prediction is Chiefs are going to win this one. All right. Saturday night game. The New York Football Giants going into Philadelphia. Eagles are 7.5-point favorites. So it's expected to be a 1 touchdown. Well, winning by a touchdown. Well, what are the keys to this one? Because this is the first time the New York Giants have, well, aside from last week, the first time they've been healthy all season.
Yep, no, I think momentum going into the playoffs is huge, and obviously the New York Giants have that right now. On the flip side, you look at my Eagles with Jalen Hurts. He was combating the injury, and when he came back, he was kind of sloppy. He didn't play to the standard we expect. We still got the win on that last game, but this is one of those things where, like, I personally think against the Giants, we should get this win. We should, because if it was Dallas, we're going to lose the game. so I'm just happy. I'm happy it didn't sort of go down that route. But I think the key for us is to play sort of disciplined football, to not get mesmerized by Daniel Jones and his one-trick offense.
One trick? Come on. Okay, well, name the one trick, because it isn't just a Saquon.
Heavy play action. Yeah, I know. It's getting better, but that's because I think Daboll is obviously throwing out a really good game plan.
But you know the thing is, you said heavy play action, right? That Philadelphia defense doesn't stop the run very well. Yeah. You're going to have to sell out to stop. The thing is, when you sell out to stop the run, when people like Hodgins, Slayton have stepped up.
Yeah, we can do that, but we've got to be disciplined with it, because, like I said, when you have a running QB,
he can take it as well. That's like
Danny Dimes, he can take it and he'll attack the holes, and he's probably been told. Because if you look at, he's getting rid of the ball a lot faster now. He's not trying to wait for players to develop. He's been told that if the first guy, second read isn't there, you bolt. You've been given free reign to use those legs, get out there and win. And I think the whole of the New York football team's offense has bought into that. They've been like, this is how we're going to win games, and that's why it's so dangerous. They're not going to try and do something outside of the book. Daboll is very creative, just like Andy Reid. He's got a few exotic plays which he's kept hidden, maybe a few new formations. It's an offense that hasn't really got any stars on the outside, but you've got consistency towards the tail end of the season. It's a dangerous team to play, and on
momentum.
Defense, they're on the rise.
The thing about the New York Giants is there have always been a momentum team. No matter throughout the last 20 years, like their 2 Super Bowl runs, it was momentum based. They got hot late.
And this is the thing, when you're on a team that's on the rise like this and they're electrified, they're excited, they're going to go out there and play hard because they're in with a chance to really change up the narrative on the team and go far into the playoffs. If they make a divisional round, that's huge for New York. New York has a winner now, and all those players in that locker room know that. They have the opportunity to do something special. And that's what I'm most scared about, because I know our Eagles have seen success, but I don't want that to lead to us being
You can't
complacent.
be one of those teams that bully teams in the regular season,
yeah,
and then just falls away.
Just fizzle out. I think if Jalen Hurts has a tight and sound game, if he's able to establish the run game early, and I say he because he's got to be getting.
They've got to use Miles Sanders properly as well. But the thing,
Miles Sanders, if Jalen Hurts can get to 50 yards on the ground, we're going to win this game. And
you look at the New York Giants' weakness, as you were saying, like established run. The weakness is on the run in the rush. Secondary seems to play well, so you've got to get the ball down, run the ball, attack them at the heart, and then they'll allow you to throw the ball nicely to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert.
Also, last week against the Vikings, I thought the Giants DBs got a little bit away with a bit of they were a bit of holding a little bit.
This is playoff rules. This is not regular season rules.
They play to the edge of those rules. Like
there's two different rule books. There's two different rule books. We know this.
But yeah, I know that. But you need to understand what I mean. What I mean is that it's been highlighted. Yeah, we all know. Yes, it's playoff rules. But once it's been highlighted, you can't get away with 2 games as a section, because now the refs are gonna be like, we're gonna keep an eye on this because it's been highlighted. People are listen. As much as we say that they don't pay attention to social media, the league does. The league, the refs, everybody pay attention to reactions, how fans, between our videos and things like that. They pay attention to it, and I think it could have an impact on the game. But I expect your receivers to play much better because you have those 2 guys, and I expect them to have a very good game for your Eagles. So hopefully those 2 guys do show up in this game. But the thing is that the Giants are going to give you as good as it gets. The Giants are going to really
they're going to go all out to try and stop you guys. And
I think the line of scrimmage, that's where it's going to be won and lost.
I think the first quarter is going to be obviously every quarter is important, but I think how you guys start out, if you start out rusty like you were in week 18,
it's going to be a long game.
This is going to give the Giants defense a lot of confidence, and then it could become a bogged down game. But predictions wise, I can't see anything but your Eagles winning this one.
Yeah, no, I expect it to be close. I don't expect us to sort of run away with this game. I'll be surprised if we did, because both teams can run it well, so we can slow down the clock. I'm hoping if we win, I'd be happy with a two-score victory on top, but I really think it's going to come down to a 1-score game. So I'm going to go with my Eagles to win this game. If we don't, man, it's going to feel bad because not only did we lose, but we're going to lose to like a divisional rival as well. So,
you got a 1 in 3 chance of losing to a divisional rival in these NFC side of the playoffs. So,
yeah, but
when you look at it, it's the NFC East and the San Francisco 49ers. That's all that's left.
Yeah, essentially. So, I'm just hoping. Well, we'll get to that game next, but yeah, there's a high hopes for my team to win. I think we're the better overall team in terms of how we've been playing, but don't sleep on the Giants. Do not sleep on the Giants.
All right. Prediction, Peter, because I haven't heard your prediction for this one. I'm not going to make any assumptions either.
I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think Danny Dimes had a good run. Probably comes to an end tonight because I think Eagles are going to be super motivated, especially the fact that they know they can't lose this game because they've been great in the regular season. Like Will said earlier, you can't be great in the regular season and losing your first playoff game. It does happen, but you don't want to be the team that happens to. And the Eagles can sense this an opportunity to actually make the Super Bowl because the NFC, as we know it, is not strong in terms of QB play for this year in terms of in the playoffs, and that gives them the opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl. So I'll go with the Eagles to win. I think one thing the Eagles probably be able to do is maybe get turnover of Daniel Jones. He hasn't thrown one in the playoffs yet, but the Eagles have two good, excellent playmakers in the secondary, and with the pressure that the Eagles can generate, even if when they rush forward, because Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, that D line of the Eagles is very deep, and I think they'll be one of the keys to the Eagles winning this game.
All right. Now, the rematch of the game that didn't get fulfilled.
Are you going with the Eagles or the Giants?
I said Eagles, sorry.
All right. You're not riding with your boy Danny Jones?
Like I said, I'll big up a player and then I'll just say, okay, but actually I think this guy's going to win. But it's just, conversation. We've got to keep it going. We've got to prod and see what you boys actually think. But Bills Bengals is one game that I can't put a finger as to who's exactly going to win this, because Bengals O-line is a problem.
Is it being billed as the best matchup this weekend? I think probably the best.
I think it's the best matchup this weekend, correct. Now, you look at the one thing, like we say that this O-line issue might be a problem. I remember in the Super Bowl last year, I was just saying Adeniji, number 77, I was just pointing him out in the whole game. I was like, I was texting my mate who's a Bengals fan, literally, like, this guy was getting beat all the time, but the thing about Joe Burrow is he doesn't let it faze him. Him getting hit, him taking sacks, doesn't faze him. And just as the divisional round gets going with Jacksonville receiving the kickoff with a touchback, but looking at tomorrow's game, what, aside from the offensive line, because we know that's going to be a problem, what are the other keys to the game, Peter?
Pardon? Go ahead.
Keys to the game, please.
Okay, keys to the game. For me, I think a big key to the game is who wins the line of scrimmage. I know you mentioned the Bengals' offensive line hasn't been great. Can the Bills put the pressure on and capitalize off of those turnovers? And also, the thing is that how well can they protect Joe Burrow to be able to get the ball to those wide receivers? Because Buffalo, as we know, they're very formidable defense. They're opportunistic. And Buffalo can cause turnovers. They can cause trouble for offenses. So I think to me it comes down to two factors: how well the Bengals can protect Joe Burrow, and how can the Bills defense generate turnovers. Because Joe Burrow don't throw interceptions left, right, and center.
And it seems like Josh Allen is throwing a lot more interceptions.
Exactly. So basically, it's kind of like
Josh Allen.
Josh. The thing is, the Bengals are gonna get turnover in this game. I can guarantee you that. Whether it's a Josh Allen interception or a sack fumble or they will get turnover. But can the Bills generate one of the Bengals, though, knowing that the offensive line is not as good as it needs to be, and Joe Burrow is making it work with it. See, there's a lot of storylines to this game, but it comes down to pass protection for the Bengals versus the Bills defensive line. Because literally, yes, the Bills offense will score points, but can the Bills defense rise up to the occasion and capitalize and make sure that Joe Burrow is not having all the time in the world to throw that football? Because the thing about Joe Burrow and his offensive line and how Joe Burrow plays football is the fact that he has a little bit of a Tom Brady, sort of like Joe Montana type thing.
He has that mojo about he has that. He's got that mojo about him that
exactly
like you can
no. It's just his presence in like for the team
presence,
kind of thing.
It's
almost like the world.
How I explain is that he's one of those QBs that you can sack him the first 3 quarters, but if the score is still close, he can pull it on the 4th quarter. He has that thing about him. So if you are going to dominate him, it has to be you're dominating the offensive line all 4 quarters. You can't be like, okay, it's the 3rd quarter now. We're going to the 4th quarter. We've got this game won. Until, it's like the last 2 minutes and you're up 2 or 3 scores, it's not over. So they just got to keep the pressure up all night. And that's the way the Bills are going to win this game. Otherwise, if they allow him to start connecting with his receivers, especially early on in the game, it's going to be a tough day for Buffalo.
So yeah, no, I think Joe Burrow has been cited as saying their Super Bowl window is his entire career.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
His entire career.
I actually agree with that.
I actually agree. So as long as you have him there, you're always in with a chance. And he's a big time baller as far as when all the lights are on. I mean, both of these guys are. But I think Joe Burrow in particular, if you do not get pressure on him, if you let him sit back and start throwing bombs, his receiving core is more than capable of getting open because they're all talented. I think it could be a long game. Buffalo have shown weaknesses as the season goes on. I honestly think the winner of this game is going to be the team with the least errors, forced errors in particular. This is going to be one of those games where a turnover or 2 might cost you the game, and it's going to be very hard to recoup. If you fumble the ball, pivotal moments, penalties as well. I think offensively, both teams are evenly matched. They both do things differently, but they can both score. And I think both defenses are serviceable. So it really comes down to who's going to have the most errors. And I honestly think that's what it's going to come down to, because it's so hard to pick out these 2 teams. I like both teams. I honestly don't know. I think I'm going to go with Cincinnati only because we need a bit of excitement. I mean, everyone wants Buffalo to win because they all want, Kansas City, Buffalo to head forward as a big rematch. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals come through, only because of that, of mean Joe Burrow down there and what I know he can do. As the game goes on, he actually gets better. I think Josh Allen, as games goes on, if things aren't going his way, it can be harder to go back and forth. But if the game just drags on,
although I'll say one thing though. I'll say one thing about Josh Allen, right? Even though Josh Burrow is more consistent and gets better as the game goes on, Josh Allen has that he can produce magic at some point where you don't expect.
I think Burrow can produce magic as well. That's the thing.
No, but I get what you mean.
Not with his legs.
His legs, yeah.
I'm talking about, how Josh Allen, right? You know how the game is going on, and it could be tied out of nowhere. He throws a 70-yard bomb touchdown.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Like Josh Allen has that. He could have thrown 3 interceptions in the game, but then he could just all of a sudden throws a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
On his back foot, when defensive ends think he's done, got 3 guys on him, he's about to get sacked, turns on his back foot, flicks the wrist, it goes 60 yards down the field. Even the corners are there thinking, there's no way you can throw it that deep from that angle. And it's over the top. And they're like, only a few guys in the league can do that. And, that's one of those games, I think both guys are capable of that kind of throw. But obviously Josh Allen is different physically when you compare him to Joe Burrow.
That arm strength sometimes makes a difference in tight games like this. It's just the ability to just throw it so far, and there goes Mahomes with a sidearm. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is.
He makes it look easy, doesn't he?
He did the sidearm. He's managed it, and he's already had 2 throws to Kelsey. One of them on a broken down play. But actually, I think both of them were one was a check down and one was a broken down play.
I mean, okay, so this game, for me, it won't surprise me if the Bengals win the game, like I've already said. But I'm gonna go with Buffalo because I I kind of feel I'm gonna go with Buffalo because I just feel like
you think that the offensive line is gonna be too much of an issue?
Exactly. I'm still not convinced about Burrow's offensive line. Although Burrow can still perform regardless of how good or how bad the offensive line plays. I'm gonna go with Buffalo just because they've got something extra. And I think they're getting Jordan Poyer back this week, I think. And he's one of the better safeties in the league, and he could make a difference in this game. So.
Did you know that Von Miller's shadowing the GM?
Oh, I didn't know that. I think he wants to go into that. That's good for him.
Into after, yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I found this out. So because he has a he has a segment on the Pat McAfee show, and I watched that segment, and he has been shadowing because he says
he also running his own podcast at the beginning of this year. He started his own podcast, didn't he?
Well, he's got his own Twitch account which he does gaming on. So he does Call of Duty gaming on there predominantly.
Oh, another factor I didn't mention is also, remember a couple of weeks what happened, Damar Hamlin. I think Buffalo
Damar might be at the game.
Yeah, so that could play a huge factor because all the guys on, especially the Buffalo Bills, they'll be buoyed, they'll be playing with a lot of confidence, going all out that we want to win this game for Damar, some sort of motivation in there. So yeah, that could play into Buffalo's hands also as well. Never discount how good a motivation factor like that could be for a team.
That's very true.
All right, I'm going to give my prediction. I think that the offensive line struggles are going to be too much. And it's just going to not allow him the time to be able to find those receivers. Unless he gets the ball out super duper quick, but then that limits the big play capability of this offense. So, Buffalo Bills, but the thing is, key for me, Josh Allen is not going to throw turnovers in his own. Like if he starts coughing up the ball, Joe Burrow's going to take advantage.
Yeah, in a game this close, I think, like I said, the team with the most errors, whether it's forced or accidental, it's penalties as well. It can really, like, every inch is going to matter. Every down is going to matter. Because I think they're both very talented in terms of offense. So it's those moments where it's going to be a lot harder. Oh, my goodness.
Third down and 6.
What kind of a... this guy's on a different level. Yeah. This guy's on a different level.
He got his arms around his waist.
Hands around his waist as he's falling. Flick of the wrist. Laser beam down the middle. Right to his guy.
Travis,
I think he sewed
Kelsey.
It between the safety as well. So that ball's a hair slower. It probably gets battered down by the safety coming across as well. So it's, like I said, these guys are different. And we're kind of spoiled right now because we're very fortunate. Usually there's like one or two quarterbacks that get drafted every 5 years. We've actually had like a whole reset in a lot of teams where they've each got their guy and they can each play really well. So we're in like the midst of like this new era of QBs that have officially taken over now. You know, I think the last of the old guys the old guard is done now.
The old guard. It is a Mahomes.
Tom Brady was the last guy hanging in there. Matt Ryan obviously got removed from Atlanta, so he's gone. Phillip Rivers left a while back. It really is like the new era now. It's the new era now.
I think Brady's, Rodgers' era.
The signs are that Brady is going to be on a different team next year. Let's see who that is.
Okay, so hold on a second. I'm going to go into a little of a mini rant here.
No, because I know you want to say retire, go home to your kids, and Travis Kelsey in
That's not what I want
for
to
a
say.
touchdown.
Like, okay,
in for a touchdown. So,
Travis Kelsey scored.
Kelsey's had 4 catches on this drive.
I told you, and when they are ahead, they're gonna go right ahead and keep punching in. My little, it's just a 30-second run. Okay, my basically is this. Listen, I don't care how long he wants to play too. The game is changing. This is the era of the new guys now. They have evolved the game. So why don't you just retire and let the new guys have a go at it? How long do you want to
Because his
keep
ego
playing?
does not want to have him go out
I think
like this,
bro.
I think it's stat padding. I think
it got to a point whereby you got to give these young guys a chance. You got to be able to be excited and enjoy them play football at some point. Like, who was the last healthy QB to retire in sort of like the NFL? Like when they were still, at the top. I mean, last year was a perfect time for him to actually retire.
I can't even like, even though Peyton retired at the top in that Super Bowl.
What, it Denver?
Was in that Super
he
Bowl,
was literally a corpse being carried across the field by Von Miller and that defense. He literally, even everyone knew it. He knew it. He was there like, thanks. Like, I couldn't throw the ball more than 15 yards. That was literally the last game of football I could play because I was done. That was literally the last game of football he could play, 100%.
All right.
I think,
Let's get on to the last matchup, because I'm sure you boys have a lot to say on this one. Brock Purdy hosting that Dallas defense. Micah Parsons, I want to go after him, but do we think... Do you guys think the 49ers are going to win this one? Do you guys think Dallas is going to win this one?
The outcome of this game just depends on how well Dak Prescott plays. I think the 49ers are going to win this game. Only because I just think
of course, no bias from the Philadelphia Eagles fan whatsoever.
No bias, but I think they're just the most. I think they're the most complete team in the NFL right now in terms of they can do everything. You know what I mean? Maybe down the field passing, not great, but they're proficient enough at it. They can run the ball when they need to. They can pass the ball just enough, usually through a lot of yak yardage. They've got a dominant offensive line, very powerful at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They've got a stout defense with good edge rushing. They've got corners that can play okay. They can do a bit of everything. Brock Purdy's not going to make mistakes, and we've seen enough. His sample size of his play right now has been enough where we've seen that he's not going to throw the game away. He's disciplined enough, and that's through coaching. That makes him a very hard team to beat. Any other team, you're zoning in on Brock Purdy being like, he's the weak link. He's the guy that's going to win us this game if we put pressure on him. But you can't really do that.
The thing we know, Brock Purdy can't make the missed throws that he did last week.
Yeah.
He can't do that because this Dallas defense will punish him.
Yeah, they're very opportunistic.
No, he can, and I think he won't. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be on Brock Purdy. The 49ers have a very good, legit run
game. The ball off.
Run the ball, play action.
Yep.
That's all they got to do. And also, the defense can hunt now. Because what Dak Prescott needs to realize is that this defense is not the Tampa Bay Bucs defense. This defense, they're coming to hunt. D'Amico Ryans and them boys,
they're going to stop that
got
run.
All-pro safety.
They're
going to force Dak to throw. And Dak is kind of like...
Agnew.
Go through Agnew.
Oh.
Yeah.
39-yard line.
Yeah, that's good.
On the Kansas City side of the ball, that is a huge run.
That's huge special teams. Because it saves your offense having to work their way up there. You're already knocking on that red zone, which is huge for them. And that's a blown assignment on that special teams coverage as well. He was wide open through. So someone lane discipline.
He's a dangerous runner. He's a dangerous runner in that.
Lane discipline. It could be pivotal, but yeah, this is the type of game that Dallas are comfortable. They're like, hey, we won our last game, we played really well, but it was against the Bucs defense a Bucs team that everyone thought was not going to play well anyway. So you can't really read too much into that. Now they're playing a real team. We'll see how they perform. Dak Prescott has to have a good game because if he doesn't have a good game, this game could get out of hand for them. So. Like I said, the 49ers can also apply that pressure, and Dallas's offensive line, it's not too good. I'm not sure where they're ranked, but they haven't got one of the better offensive lines in the league. And against that stout San Francisco 49ers defense, I think that's going to be a problem.
And
running the ball,
left tackle is going to be a bit of an issue because was it Jason Peters started there last week and went out injured?
Oh yeah, this could be one of those games. They have to run the ball. Pollard's going to be your guy, midfield, and then heavy dose of Zeke in the red zone, but I don't think that's going to be enough. The 49ers defensive line can withstand. Like, they're a really strong defense. Micah Parsons, I mean, they're just going to attack you with running the ball. So he can go after Brock Purdy all he wants, but that ball is going to be out of his hands quickly, and they're just going to run the ball directly at him. So, like I said, this could be one of those games where Dallas gets exposed. I want them to lose. I want the 49ers to beat. But what I also want to see is...
So the thing is, I'm going to ask this question.
So you want to play the 49ers?
Do you want to play the 49ers and that defense, or do you want to play... Or do you want to ruin the Dallas Cowboys' dreams yourselves?
Here's the thing. I think both these teams are...
This is going to be a quarterback sneak for Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Oh, is that Etienne? Oof.
Oh,
Etienne Jr.
What a play.
Man, coaching matters, man. Coaching matters. This team last year, same roster, relatively the same roster.
No. I wouldn't say it's the same. Travis Etienne was injured. Christian Kirk wasn't there. And you had a rookie quarterback. And you didn't have Evan Ingram either.
Yeah. He's had a resurgence. A lot of people in New York thought that guy was like a...
supposed to be the next great tight end, and he wasn't.
He just never panned out. But he's having like a bit of a rekindling of his career at Jacksonville. So hopefully they unlock that talent, because he always had the skill set. He just never found his rhythm in New York, and they drafted him early as well in the first round. So
Chris Jones, this guy's big. Predictions for the Cowboys 49ers game.
49ers to win. I think they're going to score a lot of points. I can see them scoring 30 points, 35 points, and Brock Purdy to solidify his spot as the starter next season. And Trey Lance having to work his way to beat him, basically. If he wins this game, he's the starter next year.
Touchdown. Christian Kirk.
Got it. Christian Kirk. I mean, Christian Kirk has done really well.
Okay, I'm going to ask this, Peter. Now you've seen what Christian Kirk can do, do you miss him as a player?
And the reason why I would say I don't is because think about Jacksonville. Have you looked at the offensive line that they've got?
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Compared to the offensive line that Kyle has played the 4 years with Arizona.
No, I'm not talking about current. I'm talking about, do you mean like you've seen the caliber that he could have become?
It's weird because
is it a situational thing? Because of just how
I think it's a situational thing, because when he was with the Cardinals, right? I could go back and I could show you, multiple games where he had multiple drops. Like the ball.
You look here, and he seems to be in a better headspace.
Exactly, like playing for Jacksonville, he had his first 1,000-yard season in the regular season. He's balling. He's having a good year, and he's become one of their key wide receivers for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm pleased for him that he's having success. But what I'm saying is that sometimes it's different situations, because when he was with Arizona, the same plays that he's catching the ball, he's not dropping it. They were there. So it's kind of like you ask yourself, when you was with Arizona, why were you dropping it? But then it could be because he was born in Arizona. It was his home state, his hometown team. But sometimes could it be the pressure of, I want to do it so bad. Like, I want to really, like, when you're playing in a moment.
When you try too hard kind of thing.
Yeah. And now with Jacksonville, you don't have to try like, you're still trying, but you're not trying too hard. You're more relaxed because the pressure has been lifted off a little bit. I mean, it happens, and to me, Jacksonville seems to be a bad situation for him. Yeah. And he's playing, and I would say he's playing in a real NFL offense. I'm sorry, but as good as Cliff's offense is for the Cardinals, right? Most of it was Kyler making it work. Cliff's offensive scheme doesn't really work in the NFL level because he didn't make adjustments. So.
Duval. And there we have a Patriots fan in chat shouting Duval.
So they're making it work. He's enjoying a lot of success, and I hope he keeps enjoying his success. Hey, good.
All right. Key question. I didn't ask you for your prediction, by the way. Who do you think is going to win the 49ers Cowboys game? Because it's very tight.
I think the 49ers. I think the 49ers will win because I think, most importantly, because of the fact that they have the more balanced team, and I think Brock Purdy. I'm sure Kyle Shanahan would have spoken to him. They'll try and get it corrected. The risky throws that he made last week probably won't be there. And I think they'll lean more on the run game this time round against the Dallas Cowboys, and they'll come to play.
2 key matchups: Travarius Ward versus CD, and how the linebackers deal with the tight end.
The thing is that CD is gonna cook Travarius Ward because I don't really wish Travarius Ward.
But Travarius Ward's been playing very well of late.
Yeah, he has. But what I'm saying is that CD is an elite. It's a wide receiver one, no doubt.
Correct.
And he can handle that matchup. But the thing is, the time ain't gonna be there because the reason why is because the 49ers pass rush is very. Come on, Bosa against a backup left tackle. He gonna have a couple of sacks, man.
He's got to destroy that line.
Is he gonna panic as well?
Gonna come to play.
Yeah, if Dak panics, like it could lead to issues, because he's gonna try and force that ball into windows that just aren't there. So it can slowly catch up with you as well.
And because this also another thing to watch out for this year is that remember when we came to this year, right? And we were all expecting Micah to win Defensive Player of the Year. Who's won it now? I think you can't deny it. That is Bosa.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's a regular season award, so they won't look at like what happened last week.
No, but I'm just making a passing comment that the guy that we all expected to win, they didn't win it in the end. It happened to be a guy that.
And what did I say when we talked about the Jags game? When the play breaks down, don't hold the player.
No, don't, because it's a flag.
Yep. Easy flag. I've realized why, it's not a coincidence Kelsey's wearing these bright colors. That stuff actually helps, but it's got to be coordinated with the rest of the team. So it's a way of through the chaos, he's just got to look for a flash of yellow,
It's part of it. It's all part of it. Like, oh yeah,
it's part of it. It's not just a fashion statement. There's a reason why there's no one else on receiving that's wearing that stuff.
Like how a child runs into their father and just kind of buries their head. That's what that foul was.
Yeah.
Right? It was basically that.
Yeah. Travel, screen, unsuccessful.
You are slightly ahead of me, and they managed to get onto that. They love a tight end screen as well. So, I didn't give my prediction. So 49ers, I think they're going to win. I think that defense is just too strong. I think they'll clamp down on the run. They're going to force Dak to throw the ball so much, and that's when the secondary is going to prosper. Because I think the thing is that then the defensive lineman can pin their ears back. They can get after Dak.
Yeah, and that matchup with Kittle, it's not really a matchup because I think he can eat him alive. And Brock Purdy and Kittle have a really good connection. Once he got the start, Kittle's season started to just go on the up and up. I think they just have a really good rapport with one another. I don't know if it's mainly because in practice he's been going with different lineups and they built that up over time. But I also think Kittle's size is a part of that as well, because usually if you're like a young QB, big targets with large wingspans, large areas, that's where you usually go to.
Well, you look at Ayuk, he's no small target either. He's a big dude.
Yeah, it's true. So those guys usually, if you're like a young QB, or an inexperienced one, Brock Purdy's not really inexperienced. He's like a 5-year starter in college, so he's played enough ball. But those big targets are who you want to go to. Oh, what's this here? Is that an ankle? Oh. This could be a nick knock.
Let
me just see.
Did he get stood on?
Oh.
You got stood on? Oh,
yeah,
God.
It was me to the
he got landed on.
He's in agony right now. This is.
Do you know what that reminds? That kind of like, obviously this is a contact injury, but
he's in agony.
How his ankle went reminds me of what happened to Bruno Guimaraes in the football last week, where his ankle kind of like, you twist it, right? And weirdly, that he was able to play a week later. He rolled his ankle and played a week later in a football game with kicking the bloody ball.
The fact that he's able to move around means it's probably bruising. He's able to.
But he's gone off.
It's bruising now. He needs to get that checked, and he needs to get.
Yeah, he's gonna get.
He needs to go in that tent and get that cortisol shot.
See, this is what I don't get in NFL.
This is a pocket game. This is a pocket game.
No, but hold on a second. What I'm gonna say is gonna be a bit controversial, which is like, I know it's physical game and these sort of things happen, but I sometimes think myself, our players sometimes are aware that they're actually gonna fall into somebody like that, or they are not aware.
Oh no, they're not aware. I've seen it happen. It's not intentional. Yeah,
he gets sideswiped.
He's hopping. He's hopping off that leg, man. He's not.
Oh my! His ankle is.
I don't think he can drop back.
He's gonna get a shot.
He can't drop back off that leg. He can't drop back off that leg.
Listen, Pat Mahomes can win this game on one leg, bro.
Yeah, I know he can, but that pocket has to stay there. That pocket cannot collapse. If he does this is like one of the greatest all-time performances on one leg. I don't think it's a possibility.
Do you know what it is? He's going to get an injection at half-time.
Yep.
But it's whether he still feels it, because sometimes the injection, it's only a painkiller.
What is this? So this is the first, so they're heading into the second. This is what, like, the thing is, like, that leg, is it his right leg as well? Is he a lefty?
No, he's a righty.
He's a righty. So he's pushing off that leg.
Yeah.
This is not good. So any side across the body throws, it's all gone because he can't generate enough power. I mean, he's got that sort of baseball shoulder, baseball elbow, so he can sling it from with little push off. But this is not good.
The run game is going to become even more important now.
Yeah, they're going to have to run the ball, but like I said, he can't take another direct hit. He really can't. That's just not a good idea. You get rid of it. I'm getting too emotionally involved here, bro.
But he's going to find the check down to Kelsey all the time. That's the thing. But
man.
End of the quarter, he's going to go get some treatment.
He's going to get that shot. I mean, he'll be able to play, but the thing is, even if they somehow pull this one out of the bag, he's not going to be doing anything in the whole week.
Now, the thing, you've got to pin your ears back and really go after him.
Yep. Oh, man. The players don't know.
It's a knee as well. It's a knee. It's like
yeah. This looks like a bruising. The players don't know about this because I've had it before. They're just making a tackle, and obviously, as a runner, it's happened to me before. I've had my I think it was soft tissue. It was a bruise on the inside of my I think tendon joint on the ankle. And what happened was I just got rolled over, and it was absolute agony. I was able to walk home. I got home at midnight. This is from West London. I'm home by 7. That's how bad it was because I had to walk across the London Underground. You know, obviously I'm not an NFL player. I'm not going to get cortisol shots, and I'm not going to get support after the game. No. I had to get a lift to King's Cross. I had to hobble across London Underground, and I was carrying my pads, and people were acting like, is this guy all right? Has he been shot the way he's walking?
I remember not quite an impact injury, but I had effectively like extreme severe cramp, right?
Yeah.
And to the like the tendon, not the Achilles, but kind of just a little bit higher, right at the bottom of your calf.
Yeah.
That was tight.
Yeah.
I couldn't have shoes on, and I was walking in socks through a train station because I physically couldn't keep my shoes on.
You couldn't, because just putting your shoes on.
I couldn't put shoes on.
Force the cramp. So you've literally got to walk with that leg barred straight.
No, I had both feet. I had both. No, it was in both legs.
Both legs. Oh man, that's horrible.
And I had to get the train home from a tournament.
The worst. I can only imagine.
Like it was a football tournament with work, and it was hot. I hadn't eaten in a long while. I only had a little bit of fluids, like oranges and things like that. But by the end of it, I just needed to get back and get some food in me because I feel struggling.
Yeah, but, I mean, this is huge. It's the thing is defense. They're going to key in. I think we saw their DC. He was getting excited. He was like, guys, you see that? He's hurt. We've just got to force the pocket to collapse because right now he's not mobile, which means if we're going to force him to make plays in the pocket, and this is going to be so hard to overcome. Only because they've removed his mobility. When plays break down, he's going to have to throw the ball away.
All right, let's see how he is now.
No, he hasn't got his shot yet. Oh, yeah, short passes. Come on, hit the sticks.
That's really... They effectively got all those players. They basically built a wall.
Yeah.
You can only block one guy.
This is really hard because now he can't make plays out of the pocket. There is no play breaking down. He's just got to get rid of the ball. I mean, I'm not a coach, but if I was Andy Reid, I'd be like, go get your shot. Chad, hand the ball off for like four or five snaps. Go get your cortisol shot and then get back in and you can play this second quarter.
3rd and 3.
I don't know how long it takes for that to take effect. No, he can't. Damn.
Whoa.
This is it. This is the thing. Oh.
Is that...
Grounding? Did it hit the ground first? Yeah, they're setting in Chad.
No, it's 4th down.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Do you know what the peculiar thing is?
Oh no, he left his hand.
But they say the arm's going forward, so they'll say it's a throw. But it looked like it kind of borrowed soaked out of his hand.
Forward, so it's not a fumble.
Yeah.
It looked like it borrowed soaked out of his hand whilst his arm's going forward.
Yeah, no, it did.
That's incomplete. It's not a fumble.
Yeah,
it's clearly 10-7 ball game, but everything's changing now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, he can still play, but it's vastly limited their offense because now everything has to happen in the pocket. He can't run if plays break down. He can't bootleg out to the left and right. They're going to have to run the ball, short passes behind the yard marker, behind the first down marker. So it's up to those yak yards. That's what it's going to take.
I can't believe someone. So was it Warren Sharp?
Yeah.
On Twitter, he actually said that this was a dirty play, and I was like, no, he's wrapped. And
not,
like when you have a slippery quarterback, you slip down, and therefore his legs landed on him. He's not taking him out his leg. He's like,
yeah, the defender didn't see him. It's not a dirty play at all. Of course, Kansas City fans are going to be like, dirty player, get him, he needs to get fined. It's really not.
No, it's not.
Really not a dirty play at all. It's really not.
So, Joey Bosa was fined $55,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct and public criticism of the officiating in last week's playoff loss.
Just nothing.
I know it's loose change to him. According to Adam Schefter, Aaron Rodgers being traded is a very real scenario.
How much money are they going to lose if they trade him?
look at Spot Rack and Aaron Rodgers. Let's have a look at that. Dead cap post 1st June. 15.8 million. Even though it says dead cap 100 million, that is all pre. So pre 1st of June, like if they in the stupidity, if they cut him, right, which you know they never would, it'll be 100 million. If they trade him before June 1st, it's a 40 million dead cap. You're not eating that, right?
No, they'll eat 15 though.
But they'll eat 15.
Yeah, I mean, I think after what Jordan Love showed towards the end of last season, you're inclined to give him a shot because you find out why he has over a full season.
It's
but
going to be interesting.
Who wants Rodgers? Who's going to trade for him? That's the question.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what team could possibly convince themselves that we can, and it has to be a good team with pieces and ready for like a regular season playoff push type run.
I mean, he's going for MVPs, so he's not really interested in winning a championship. So, whatever gives him the best chance to get that MVP award.
So,
but I'm just trying to. There's not a team out there. I can't see.
I don't think there is. We've got Travis Etienne again. Travis Etienne is, because of the way he runs, he's able to slip by players in tackles.
I'm just trying to think, like, what team?
Pardon? Sorry, you were saying, you repeat that again, Peter?
A team just popped into my head, though.
Who?
A team that I kind of still want them to stick with their young quarterback, but Will thinks is a bust anyway.
Who?
Jets.
Oh no! I mean, he needs a fresh start anyway. I don't think they do. I think they look for other options because
but hold on.
He'd hate going there.
They're not going to do that because they invested so much in him.
The offseason.
Oh my! Woo!
The Jets.
Jermichael Tasty. I know. Yeah.
They're like a quarterback away from being, serious contenders. Because this past year, they kind of feel like the defense was good, the offense was good with the pieces that they have, and it was the quarterback play that let them down. And if they can get an improvement upon that, that could take him somewhere,
Yeah, I think their defense is ready. Their defense is ready. They've got playmakers on offense. They've got a running back. They've got a solid offensive line. Like literally, a lot of the games were right there. They just lost by 3 points, one score.
But I feel like the Jets is one of the teams to watch for Derek Carr. They could potentially trade for Derek Carr.
I can see that happening. All they do need a QB. And yeah, Derek Carr is a vet that can still play, and I think he suits their offense well because he's mobile enough and he's experienced, he's savvy. So I think that's a good fit for them. More so than a lot of other QBs that are available. I think that's a better fit than Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just trying to think what team out there Aaron Rodgers could potentially go to.
Aaron Rodgers will love the Jets then because it's New York. He gets to take his. Yeah. He'll leave Green Bay and finish off his career in NYC, the center of entertainment.
I don't think
that will be his main reason.
I don't think that attracts him though.
True.
He's a bit of a like.
because
he is a little bit of a hippie as well.
Yeah, but I think he's like one of those.
But he's still got his Californian roots, though.
Yeah, he likes the big media. And I think being in Green Bay, it's kind of he's had to stay it's a smaller market, but a market that's very low fan base, but I think New York is a huge market for him and will help his brand after the game. You know, so
no, because I'm looking around.
He'll be good for them. He'll be good for them.
I'm looking around the teams that could potentially trade for him. The Bucks maybe Tampa Bay because Brady's leaving. Swap a vet for another.
That's not normal.
For another vet, what about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I mean, is essentially swapping Brady for Rodgers. I mean, that could happen too.
I wouldn't really call that. I'd call that as the defensive players gotta be aware.
Do you expect him to cut off his legs or something?
Yeah, no, he just put his legs up as the
that's a protective motion.
It was kind of tripping, but I don't think it was that egregious a call. Ooh, that's a good
and then he eats a sack in the next play.
So Kansas City defense has to hold firm. They have to hold firm.
Do you know why he called a tripping? He lifted the leg up.
Yeah, protecting himself from getting stamped on.
No, don't lift the leg up.
I'm providing a BS. I'm providing some BS here. I wasn't providing reality. I know it was intentional.
Just lie down. Don't lift your leg.
But what you want to do is legs and arms.
Oh, they got him.
Yeah, he should have gone full upside down bug.
Oh wait, he's going downstairs. So that means they're probably going to shoot him up.
Who, my homeboy?
Yeah. Oh, was that a drop?
He needs a shot.
That's a drop.
Yeah, it's a drop. That would have been a first down.
Now here, you got to kick the field goal, right? Punt?
Oh yeah, you got a
57-yarder.
Can the kicker kick 57?
Henny's damn, I don't think he thought he was gonna play, but this is why you've got to have competent backups. Like you can't be cheaping out on backups because something like this happens. You've got to have someone that can come in.
Pin him deep now here.
Ooh. Oh man,
is that with
Henny? Is that with Henny in there? That
is great. That is great from the special teams of the Jags there.
That's huge. Oh man, that looks horrible. That's rolled under. The thing is, like, the NFL hates this because it means that we're denied seeing elite quarterback play, but there's nothing they can do. You can't change the rules again to try and make this, you know what I mean? They've already done what they can to try and protect the QB as much as they can. You know, this is just how things fall. It's how he fell. Like I said, Pat Mahomes, him going down that tunnel, I think he's going to go get his shot. He's going to get his cortisol shot. He'll be out. And those shots mask the pain. They don't fix or heal the injury. So he's still playing on the swelling. He's still playing on that foot. He just won't feel the pain anymore until after the game.
But after the game is the worst pain you could ever have, though.
Yeah, because it's aggravated. So
all right, do you want to hear an interesting stat? Trayvon Walker is the first overall pick to play in a divisional playoff game in 31 years. Who was the last guy?
31 years.
1991 season.
Bloody hell.
Emmitt Smith?
Russell, Maryland.
Oh, interesting.
No idea.
I have no idea who he is.
How has Trayvon Walker been this season? I think this is a guy that's just, he's going to have to learn to play the NFL game. His physicality, his speed isn't, everyone else is fast and big in the NFL. So he's having to adjust to that.
He had 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks.
That's not, I mean, you'd expect more. You'd expect more.
3.5 because there was one in last week. Yeah, 3.5.
Considering how he was the first defender off the board, right?
No, he was the first player off the board.
You'd kind of expect him to be able to get
first
around
over. He was pick number 1.
Oh wow. So yeah, that's kind of underperforming. You'd kind of expect him to get to that 9-10. considering his physicality, his size, his athleticism. But this is one of those things where I told people like, he's great, but he relies too much on his raw athleticism. And in the NFL, if you draft people just based on their measurables, physically, like everyone else is strong and fast.
I guess the Detroit fans are glad they picked Trayvon and not Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah. A lot of people were upset that they wanted Trayvon, but Aiden Hutchinson has been the better player. Because he was a technician.
He was always the better player.
He was always the better player, which is why
he is also a giant.
Yeah, he's really.
He has no right to move that quick.
This is typical Trent Baalke. This is typical Trent Baalke. Typical Trent Baalke pick.
They picked Walker because of his athleticism, right? And they reminded Trevor Walker. He reminded Trent Baalke of Alden Smith, right? But one thing he forgot is that Alden Smith has something that Trevor Walker doesn't quite have, which is Alden Smith is ferocious. If it wasn't for his off the field issues and the fact that he couldn't get his head right, Alden Smith would be like on the Von Miller path right now. His first 2 years in the league, he was unstoppable as a pass rusher. Just that Alden Smith just had a lot of mental and off the field issues.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But like I said, it's a typical Trent Baalke pick. If you're Jacksonville, this is going to be how you draft for the next however long Trent Baalke's the GM before he gets sent out of there.
Like we saw just on that last play and this play currently ongoing, handing the ball off, and they're getting good yardage as well with it. So Pacheco is going to become much more important. Run the football. Get yourself to a point where Mahomes can come back in the game, and you're in a good position. Although it's realistic, we don't see Mahomes until the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to take time to take effect. They're already 8 minutes? Yeah, it probably won't happen until the second half. All Chad has to do is minimize errors, get rid of the ball when he has to. Don't do things like that.
Oh
please.
My God!
Yeah. Things like that is what Chad needs to try and avoid.
Peter, you're going to see that. I don't know how much of a delay you're on.
First read, second read, fourth read, right down the middle. That was... Oh, no, was it tipped?
Pardon? You're in a very, you're like
it was tipped.
A couple seconds behind us, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that ball was tipped. Okay, yeah, so it's not his fault.
He's got to catch that ball, though.
I reckon if that ball would have been on target, it was just tipped at the line, that's all.
But you got to catch that ball as a defensive player.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a top INT.
Yeah.
And that's
why you play defense.
Just keep the drives alive, don't turn over the football. Oh, okay. So he's on the sideline. Is he waiting for that shot to take effect?
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, because it takes time once it's...
Yeah, it doesn't automatically...
Yeah. I mean, even if you run like an old school statue in the pocket offense, like just get rid of the ball early.
It's whether how much weight you can put on it. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Yeah. See, it's always interesting when you lose your starting QB. When you lose your starting QB, you play safe.
They're not winning this game with Henry.
I mean, if they just march their way up the field,
just dink and dunk.
Just don't make errors. Chew up the clock. Stop Jacksonville on third down. There's still a
they're
path
not
to
winning the
victory
game with Henny. Like I said, they need my homeboy out there. That pass that got tipped, my homeboy is a completed pass.
My homeboy on one leg is a completed pass?
Oh, it is. I mean, watch. Okay, so when Henry throws the ball, watch the trajectory of the ball. It's a bit lower than when Mahomes throws it. I don't know whether
it's kind of there rather than there.
Exactly. When Henry throws the ball, it's a bit lower in how it floats. Mahomes just throws it, a little bit out of the defender's reach. So,
oof, that's a big hit. And the thing is, the head's on the ball as well. It's not even. All right, let's see how this play goes. 3rd and 3. Timeout. Is Mahomes coming in?
Nah, he's got that jacket. That's the I'm warm done up for a good few series. Keeps you warm, but the Superman cloak. That's the worst thing that could have happened. What car is this? I've seen this car. This is Ginny. Oh no, it's Hyundai.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen this one.
Ioniq 5. That's what it is.
That's pretty good, actually. For electric. Hyundai. Let me see.
The advertisements are working.
No, because it looks like a futuristic car. I think that's why I like it.
Remember back in the day when everyone... Remember when everyone loved the Honda Civic look? It looked super futuristic, and then it looks dated.
Now it looks dated, yeah. Honda, I mean, it always kind of looked, futuristic.
Because it was kind of like sharp edges and things.
Yeah, that was a really popular car, to be honest. Honda Civic Type R. Everyone loved that car.
So someone wrote, this is not a doctor. I need to see what Pro Football Doc says. But it says, I wouldn't be surprised if he's broken his fibula because he was able to walk. You're able to walk on a fibula. On a broken fibula because it's not load bearing. Right?
Mm.
And he was able to walk it, and he walked on his for 2 days before he saw a doctor. And they said, oh yeah, you got a broken leg, mate.
Yeah, this is one of those things, man. I would be surprised too. Like if it's a lot worse than it actually looks, because right now adrenaline.
It could be a high ankle sprain.
High ankle, adrenaline. Once he gets his shot, he's not going to feel it. But boy, after this game.
But do you know what it is? They must have gone in for an MRI because they've got scan. They can scan.
Yeah, they can scan there and then, even through the bandages, I guess.
Yeah, they just rip it all off.
They'll just take it all off. But then he's got after this game, the swelling, he's going to be in a lot of pain tonight. And then he's got a short week.
Providing they win.
Assuming they win, providing they win. But the worst thing that could happen happened. Now it's like an uphill struggle. Jacksonville.
And he's back out of the timeout. 3rd and 3. Absolutely massive play right now. There's going to be some quick out pass. They might be able to get a field goal before the half. Yeah, they just got to get out of there. Good at the sticks. Kelsey, the strength breaking out of that tackle. Big Flag.
Man Kelsey. Maybe some defense.
They're going to give roughing the passer. Watch it. Let's have a look. On Arden Key.
Oh! Was that shoulder to helmet? Shoulder to helmet, yeah. He had to...
shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, he's lucky that wasn't helmet to helmet.
Because he did not follow through either. He did not follow through on the hit. He kind of like...
No, but you know how...
That ball was gone.
They're a protected species.
Yeah, so you know how they say it, like when you're in the area, they will call it. That's what they look at it as.
Yeah,
you don't even have to touch them.
It's the head and neck area, but the shoulder.
Exactly.
That's should be fine.
It's still classed as part of the area. Look, the head went in. Come on, Dilly.
I know.
He just went like that.
I mean, he moved the head before.
He had an easy opportunity to get a nice hit in, putting his shoulder into the midriff. Because he had played.
Yes,
like
exactly.
like we're talking. Like he didn't. He had like he was standing upright.
He should have gone
the
below.
tackle area was big.
Head, it would have been fine.
The tackle area was big for him.
Exactly.
So
he should have gone below.
If you want to lay one on him, you've got to do it a little bit better than what he did. Pacheco,
this acceleration. Woo! Die for it.
Oh, I hate this lag.
He went out of bounds.
Hey, Pacheco was going full speed there.
Where's this run defense for Jacksonville?
Reckless abandon running right there, man. That's I can tell the way he's fidgeting while he's running. He's not even thinking. He's literally just trying to go as fast as he possibly can.
Could you look at Jacksonville have kind of like middle to high better level run defense.
That's why they don't pay running backs, man. Seventh round, man. This is why you don't pay backs. Find another one.
Unless your name's Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley.
If you're generational.
No, but
it's hard.
But
man. I think options.
No, but I think, to be honest, I think every NFL player deserves to get paid. And when you make statements like that, I don't agree with it. Well, because the thing is, yes, they devalue the position, but at the same time, there is an important position, and they do deserve to get paid. You can't just say because I'm a running back, you're not gonna give me some money. Like, come on. And I don't like how teams do it, which is like, okay, I'll use you for 3 years, let you go, and then draft a new one. I think there should
Chad
be
Henne,
a cap.
Travis Kelce.
I think there should be a cap that says that if you draft a running back, you have to keep him and give him a second contract just to protect the position a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a problem, because if he's a bust, then he's guaranteed 2 contracts. That's
no. Obviously, there'll be some parameters in there, like he has to hit a certain milestones for him to be a lock to get a second contract with you. That's what I meant. Like, you can put in milestones saying that
for 3 years and then moving on and drafting another one.
Listen, I tell you this now. If I was an agent and I had a running back and you drafted him for your team, he would never play for you. I would never let my running back play for you.
What? Oh no! If he's a good back, then that's fine. But like,
I would not let him play for you.
Miles Sanders isn't going to get paid.
You are not going to play.
I used to love running backs, Pete.
You will not pay him,
Peter.
If you are GM and my agent, yeah.
You said they're not winning with Chad Henne. If Chad Henne plays the rest of this game, they are now probably going to be 17.
Yeah, but this is one drive though. You got to be careful.
It's one drive. Like, come on.
He's got to do this maybe 3 more times.
Plus
that run defense is
having a half-time adjustments.
The
defense is going to work out Henne. They're just going to be like, "This is what we're going to do."
So do you know what? Do you know what I will say? I just saw a Jets fan, right? Chad Henne, greater than Zach Wilson.
Well, yeah,
he's a vet. Come on now. He's a vet. He's a vet. Okay, so here's the thing. What I'm saying is that drive was all Pacheco anyway. Pacheco got into that line and he just threw it to Kelce. It was all Pacheco.
Yeah, Kelce was wide open
in that drive.
Won his matchup. Threw under duress, just boop to the side, walk in. So he's got to do this 3 more times, and their defense has just got to play like, don't let them. The good thing is, though, it was a long drive. Half's nearly over already.
Do you know what?
Maybe 2 minutes, 1 minute left.
If I'm Andy Reid, come back in the second half, I'll play Henne again, Pacheco carrying the ball. If we score a touchdown, we are up 24-7. I'll be like, homeboy, you're setting this one out. We're going to try and see if we can win this with Henne. Unless it gets tight, and then I need you in the fourth quarter. I'll bring you back in the fourth quarter.
If it gets tight, then I'd rather have Pat Mahomes in a pocket, getting rid of that ball early with accuracy.
But that's when the games get tight in the fourth quarter. You bring Pat back. But for now, I'll say carry on with Henne until if the games get tight in the fourth, you bring that would have given Mahomes quite a bit of time to rest that leg up a little bit and then bring him back in the fourth, and keep it going. But like I was saying, back to our conversation. If I'm an agent and you were a GM, my running back ain't playing for. We're pulling on Eli. I'm sorry, because I know you. Your mindset, you're gonna rinse my guys for 3 years and draft another back. Nah.
I feel kind of burned.
Do you know what I'll do? I will tell you, if you draft us, we are not playing for you. You gotta trade us.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like I used to be on the back side, but I think Howie Roseman converted me. He's been doing this since DeMarco Murray. After we had DeMarco Murray, he was like, all right, I'm done with this. We're gonna bring in a vet. We're gonna have one vet. Whether that was, who was it? LeGarrette Blount. We had what's his name from Chicago for a while. Can't remember his name. No, not Matt Forte. I think it was what was his name? I can't remember his name, but we had him for a while. But he'd always draft backs. After the 3 years are done, he'd ride him out and then he'd just get rid of him. And he'd say next guy. And I think the same thing's gonna happen to Miles Sanders, because he's like, I'd rather spend money on offensive linemen, defensive linemen, corners, and then just, you know what I mean? Wide receivers, we're fine. That's where all our money's going.
See, if I'm a GM, right, and I draft a really good running back, right, I'll make every attempt to sign you. But the thing is that your money is gonna be tied into performances, right? Like there's a salary that I'm not gonna go past, which is like your guaranteed salary for the whole year is $8 million. I'm prepared to give you $8 million guaranteed every single season. But if you want to earn, more than $8 million, you want to earn up to like 15, 16 million, that's going to have to come in bonuses, like your performances and add-ons and those kind of things. I have a figure. It's not like I'm not going to pay you. I mean, heck, I might even go up to 10 million guaranteed every single year. But to earn more than that, it has to be incentive-based as a running back.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Jags can't really afford to run this ball slowly either, but they probably just want to finish the half.
No, they need to get a score. Don't forget, they received the kickoff, so...
Okay, yeah, but they need to get a score. They need to get out here with points. They at least need to get to 10.
I mean, if they can get 3 points, it's still something anyway.
7-17 heading into the half. That's a nice cushion for Kansas. They need to score.
17-7 is a cushion.
How long have they got? 3 minutes.
No, anything that they get is good. Think about it. Okay, so you're playing a long game here.
I love the way Etienne runs.
Great. If you get a touchdown, that's great. But if you don't get a touchdown and you can get a field goal, that's still a one-score game. So they got to get some points regardless.
Correct.
Trevor.
Oh my.
Oh, are you serious? How can he get behind you?
Catch the ball, lad.
Forget. How did you let him get behind you? Kirk's not even top end speed. He's quick rather than fast. How do you let him get? Oh, I need to see this.
Let's have a look.
So
He's got to catch that though.
Yeah, that's on that safety.
Oh, the safety. Yeah, 22.
I don't know.
He's got to catch that though.
Yeah, so the safety is backpedaling. He needs to open up his hips now. Too late. What was
okay? So
what did you think was going to happen?
Okay, so guys, that play, that is what used to drive Cardinal fans crazy. Yeah, our Christian Kirk, as good as he has been for Jacksonville this year, he can drop passes like this, and you're like
it wasn't an easy catch, but he's got to make it.
Nah, he should have caught that. He had
it was.
Open. It was already in his hands. Like it fell into his basket. It fell into the basket.
Exactly.
Like you've just got to secure it.
It kind of went like through the.
Yeah, but it landed on his body in his hands. You've got to secure it.
If the ball hits your hands, you got to catch it. Catch it into your body, whatever. He's got to catch that. Whew, that's a huge missed opportunity. He should catch that. Those were the type of plays that Arizona Cardinal fans we didn't like about Christian Kirk. Also, furthermore, our previous GM, who you guys know I really didn't like, also destroyed the salary cap, so we couldn't really resign him at the time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, balls like that. Yeah, I mean it's a hard catch, but the ball got there and he had it, and then it came out. So that's when it's a bit.
Okay, quick question.
I'd rather he's overthrown.
Okay.
He doesn't get it.
Okay, quick question. Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, they're catching those balls, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. Even a Tyler Boyd's catching that majority of the time.
Yeah.
They're around the same height, same body type as Kirk. I'm not talking about the really tall ones. That's why I picked those two guys in particular, because they're kind of like
Waddle as well.
Similar type of height.
Oh, well, we've seen Waddle. He has the potential to have a gap like last week.
Yeah, but that was, like I said, that's a catchable ball. It's better off if you just overthrow it at that point, because then it was like, it wasn't catchable, but it not only hit his hands, it went through his body, underneath, through his elbows at the bottom, and it can happen, but come on, big time plays. That would have been a massive game. That would have basically put, obviously, field goal guaranteed at that point, if not a score. So that would have been huge for them. You know, this is one of those things where you look back in the playoffs, if you don't win, and you're thinking, man, if I caught that ball.
So doctors reckon it's a high ankle.
That's recoverable by next
game. In a game?
Not in a game. I mean, he could, I'm not saying he'd play, but adrenaline with the shot, he could probably finish the game.
Oh, God.
But I wouldn't put him out there personally, not at this point. And the thing with that is, does he even play next game?
High ankle sprain is not a 1 week thing. It's normally a 5 to 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think if it is that, he could probably finish the game. I'm not saying put him out, but at the end of that, that's it. I wouldn't put him out though.
All right,
I think
3rd and 6.
As soon as he put on that cloak, I knew he was done. QBs that put on that cloak, unless it's like snowing, that means I'm done for the game. There you go.
And then he redeemed himself to a point.
A little bit. Yeah.
It's not the big ass play, but hey, you go back to the well. You get him that catch.
That's
good
what
release,
Pete said,
good catch.
That's what Pete said. He goes, the big plays are the ones he messes up.
But that's why I said,
it's plays like this where he'll go off and start making these completions, but 60, 70 yards down the field, out of the hands or got beaten to the ball,
Second and 3, 38-yard line.
The one thing that I'm excited about is that, and I'm looking forward to, and I hope it happens for my Cardinals, is, our new GM, when he was with the Patriots, he has been credited in finding undrafted free agents like David Andrews, Joe Thuney, like all their offensive linemen that were not like first-round picks.
Is this Adrian Wilson?
No. Monty Ossenford.
Did you see his discussion about becoming a GM and the conversation he had with his wife or then girlfriend?
Oh, that's the Ron Carthen, the Titans' new GM.
Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, from the I know we're talking about GM. So did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the reaction is
Will was the one that posted it, wasn't it? So that's why.
When I went on Twitter, people were like, "Oh, they shouldn't have been with him." I'm like, you guys don't understand what he means by that. Like, it's like
he's looking out for his best interest. Like she was like,
exactly.
She understands how things are in the league, and it's very fickle. You move across the country for this, and it's an option, but you're at the mercy of your owner or your superstar head coach. if things don't pan out, you could be sent packing. And, it's always hard for these guys because they move city, they move their kids to a new school, and in 3-4 years, they've got to move out, and their kids still going through that school.
They're
Loses
down
all of his
2?
friends. And 2. Yeah, if the Kansas City Chiefs can hold them, that's huge. This has been a huge quarter.
Yeah, if we can hold them to 3.
Yeah. Oof.
Field goal unit.
1 score game. I mean, this can't be as bad as who was the kicker? Dallas's kicker who missed
Brett Maher.
Every attempt.
Brett Maher.
Every attempt at point blank range. That's just bad luck. It's moments like that where I sometimes think, is it really down to skill, or is it literally just a coin toss each time?
It's skill.
It's down
plus
to skill, obviously. But when you miss that many times, like,
that was the Y word. That was YIPS. Yips. There's no other thing to say.
Is it a holder that's holding the ball at some weird angle?
30 seconds left here. They're going to kneel on it. We're going to head into the half.
Let's see if they've got a snack back downstairs. I'll be back.
Oof, that was a good half of football, though. It's been good to watch. Keys they've got to stop the run in that second half. Whether or not they do it,
Jags got to stop the run. They got to get more consistency and be able to score touchdowns, because we all know against the Chiefs you can't just do field goal rate. But it's a good score, 17-10. They're still in it. But the key is, can they hold the Chiefs to a field goal or no points? Because the Chiefs getting the ball after the break, right?
What was it? Somebody was right here. Is he a bunch? No.
Did you say the Chiefs get the ball after the break?
From my memory, yes. Let me just check. Bringing up Game Pass. Not statistics. I need to go on NFL.com. So yeah, they do, because Jacksonville received the ball.
Okay, so what Jags got to do is after the break, they can't let the Chiefs go get a touchdown. They got to get 3 and out, or at minimum keep them to a field goal, because if the Chiefs gets another touchdown, then it makes it a bit difficult.
You're fighting a losing battle if that happens. Obviously, we've still got 27 seconds left. Now, if you're the Jags, you put the ball in play here, right? You don't kick it through. Try and force a turn. No, it's gone. Kick through. Touchback.
Well, I think you just kick it through and force.
No, they kicked it through. They kicked it through. It's going to be halftime.
Yeah.
Yep. Kneel down. And Henny and Co. head into the locker room.
I'm so nervous about tomorrow's game with United, but I have a good feeling.
It's going to be an interesting one. Just waiting for Will to return. And Will has got his spread here with him. So that is where we are going to cut it off. It's been good to watch the first half. What is on the spread, Will? What is
Hold on a sec.
What is on the spread? What is on the spread, Will?
What's on the spread? I've got rice cakes, peanut butter, blueberries, and bananas.
And there we have it. That is Will's fuel for the second half. But it's goodbye from me. Goodbye from Will. And we'll catch everybody on the review show to see who has won in this divisional round. Goodbye, guys. Bye-bye.